Do you hear that? It's the sound of the Knicks that are starting to creep up on the Celtics in the standings. The defending champs have played .500 basketball over their last 14 games, and the Raptors were giving them some problems last night. Jaylen Brown and the Celtics taking on Scotty Barnes in the North. Third quarter, 8 minutes to go here, tied at 67. Barnes drives in the baseline, hits Jakob Poeltl, behind the back pass, finishing the layup there.
These two teams played a couple weeks ago, and the Celtics won by 50. I just want to point that out.
A little bit of a different story last night. Jason Tatum, though, with a nice, ooh, yeah, you wanted that. Didn't get it. It was just a tough night for Tatum, though.
Yeah, none of the Celtics are shooting well right now.
Under 6 minutes to go. Barnes pump fakes, gets to the paint, hits the turnaround. The Raptors win this 110-97. Barnes, 18 points, 9 assists. It was just a tough night, as we mentioned, for the Jays against the Raptors defense on Wednesday. The duo combined for just 26 points, made 29% of their shots combined. That is their lowest in any game they've played together this season. And after the game, Jason Tatum, he was just trying to explain maybe what's going on with the Celtics.
I mean, we're going through some shit right now. It's tough, but we said it after the game that we got to go through it together. As best as we can, stick together. Trust in one another like we always have, and just show your true character.
We played with no spirit, with no personality, and it's just weak performance from us, honestly. So, we just play with no personality right now.
So that 7-7 record for Boston over their last 14 games is the worst since Joe Mazzulla took over. But Udonis, you played on a team where it was just pencil it in June. We're going back to the NBA Finals. Do you have any real concerns for the Celtics right now? Because mentally, how are you thinking about this as a player?
Not at all. No concerns for the Celtics. I've been on teams where you go to the finals and you played the most basketball out of any team in the whole association for the last couple of years. The regular season can be somewhat of a loss sometimes. You're focusing on getting to the playoffs. You want to stay healthy. Trust me, the Boston Celtics and Joe Mazzulla just sitting at home. They're sharpening their swords and they're getting ready for the playoffs. This is a little kink in the armor, but they'll be fine. Like Wendy said, they won by 50 last time. They probably wasn't that excited for this game anyway. I'm going to just be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you, D, in general. I do think what's going on right now is they're just missing shots. I think if you look at the last 5 games in particular, which they've lost 3 of them, they've been dead last in the league in three-point shooting in that span. This is a team that is used to leading the league in three-point shooting.
Right.
I will say this, though. What this stretch is reminding us is that they're a little bit more vulnerable than they were last year. I think, last year they had 4 different guys who shot over 40% on threes. This year that's down to 1. They're not as dominant. And last year they were Secretariat. They were lapping the field with how, that was for you, Malika, the horse reference.
I appreciate that.
They were lapping the field with how strong they were, and they really were untouchable throughout the back half of the season. They're not untouchable anymore. I still think they're the favorites to win the East, but they're not untouchable, and that's what we're seeing.
Bobby, do you share that worry?
But I'm
Go ahead. Yep. Let me hear Bobby, and then go ahead, UD.
Yeah, I do. I thought before the regular season that they could finish with the second or third best record in the Eastern Conference and still be the favorite going into the playoffs, just based on what they did last year. And I think the concern for me, and I know the Olympics were a long way away, before, as far as the minutes that Tatum and certainly Holiday and Derek White, 3 guys that played there. I think the best thing for this team, I think adversity is the best thing. I think when you have a little bit of some in-season adversity here, because remember the playoffs last year was clear sailing when they got to the NBA Finals here. So adversity always helps because it kind of flushes out what the real problems are.
UD.
Everybody's going to bring their A game against the Celtics. It's lonely at the top, man. I'm sure that game meant a lot more to Toronto than it meant to the Boston Celtics. So they're getting everybody's best game every single night. I am not worried about the Boston Celtics at all.
But they do have some serious competition, right, for the title this year. The Cavs, the Thunder, they're running away with the regular season.
I think they're not quite as good, and the teams behind them are a little bit better. So that gap is it's shrunk a little bit, which makes it better for the people who are fans of the league like us.
I'm on fire. It's NBA,